Today we'll be discussing multiple choice questions, MCQs, on goods and service tax. So we go with the first question, the question number 1. Question is, if a shopkeeper sells an article at a profit to a customer, then we have got 4 choice. Output GST is equal to input GST. Output GST is less than input GST. Output GST is greater than input GST. And 4th option is can't be said. Now, before I will go with the answer, we should know what is output GST and what is input GST. Now, what is output GST and input GST? See, input GST is what? Input GST is the GST which is paid while purchasing an item. When you purchase an item, the GST paid, so in this case, the shopkeeper, the tax paid by the shopkeeper while buying the item, that is input GST. And what is output GST? Output GST is the GST that you receive after selling an item. That means when the shopkeeper is selling the item, then from the customer, the amount of tax that he will charge, that is called output GST. Now in this question, it is said, shopkeeper sells an article at a profit of this to a customer. That means he bought it at CP and he sold it at SP. Quite natural, since he has sold it at a profit, so this SP is greater than CP. So the selling price is more than the cost price. If the selling price is more than the cost price, then the tax GST charged on SP will be naturally greater than the GST charged on the cost price. So GST charged on the selling price means output GST. GST charged on the cost price is input GST. So output GST will be greater than the input GST. So C is the option. Right? Hope you have understood. Now we'll go to the next question. Now the second question is, the cost of an article is rupees 25,000 and the CGST paid by the owner is rupees 2,250. Then the rate of GST is 4 choice, 9%, 10%, 15%, 18%. Now, GST, we know the GST is split into 2 for intrastate. One is CGST, the tax paid to the central government, and SGST, the tax paid to the state government. And we know, suppose if the GST is 10%, then it is paid equally, 5% CGST, 5% SGST. So that 5 plus 5 becomes 10%. So GST is split under 2 heads, the tax paid to the central government, CGST, the tax paid to the state government, SGST. Here the question is, the cost of an article is rupees 25,000. CGST paid by the owner is this much. So CGST paid is 2250, this much. So if I want to find out at what rate of 25,000 is 2250. So how do you get rate? So the tax paid by the total amount into 100%, that will give me the rate of CGST. This will give me the rate of CGST is this 2250 by this. So you cancel 0, this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 cancels. So with 5 if I cancel, so 5, 5, 25, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5. With 5 if I cancel, 9. So we get rate of CGST is 9%. Because 2250 is 9% of 25,000. But what they have asked in the question, the rate of GST, that means this they have asked. This I got. I got this CGST, this CGST has 9%. So I know if CGST is 9%, so similarly SGST also will be 9%. So total GST will be in that case 18%. So D is my choice. Now we'll go for the next question. Question number 3. The printed price of an article is rupees 3,080. If the rate of GST is 10%, then the GST is charged is A, rupees 154, rupees 308, rupees 30.80, rupees 15.40. Now you must note GST is asked, means total GST, not CGST and SGST separately. So that means the entire 10%. So the price is what? The price is 3080. GST is 10%. So I'll calculate GST will be 10% of this. So this 0 cancels this. So this is equals to how much? Rupees 308 straight away. If they would have said SGST or CGST, then this would have been half. But since they have asked GST, so 308 is the answer. That means B is the choice. Now we'll go for question number 4. So the next question, question 4. A retailer purchased an item for rupees 1500 from a wholesaler and sells it to a customer at 10% profit. The sales are intrastate and the rate of GST is 10%. The amount of GST paid by the customer is, we have got 4 choice, rupees 15, rupees 30, rupees 150, rupees 165. Now first let me explain you what is intrastate. See, intrastate means when the selling is done within the state. That is called intrastate. And if it is one state to other state, then it is called interstate. In between two different states. Our sums are all based on intrastate. So this is intrastate sum. So the retailer had purchased the item from the wholesaler at what price? At rupees 1500. So the CP is 1500. The CP of the retailer. Now he is selling it to the customer at a 10% profit. So what will be the profit? So profit will be 10% of 1500. That is 10 by 100 into 1500. So 150 rupees. 150 is the profit. So what will be the SP? SP of the retailer, that is the CP of the customer, that will be 1500 plus profit 150. So that becomes rupees 1650. This is. So this is the price at which the item will be sold to the customer. So the customer is going to pay tax, the GST on this item, this price. This is the price at which he is buying. So the GST will be charged on 1650. So GST paid will be how much, at what rate? 10%. So it will be 10%. So 10 by 100 of 1650. So this cancels. So you get rupees 165. 165 is the GST paid by the customer to the retailer. So our choice is D, 165. Now we'll go for question number 5. So our next question is, the marked price of an article is rupees 20,000. A shopkeeper purchased it at a discount of 10%. If GST is charged at the rate 18%, then the bill amount of the article is 4 choice, rupees 19,600, rupees 20,800, rupees 23,000 and rupees 21,240. Our previous sum was sum of profit and here it is a question of discount. Now here we have got mark price. Mark price is given how much? Rupees 20,000. Mark price is 20,000. And we know discount is always charged on the mark price. Rate of discount how much? Rate of discount is 10%. So discount will be how much? So we'll calculate the value of the discount. So discount will be 10%. 10% of 20,000. That is the mark price. So if we cancel, so we get 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees becomes our discount. So if 2,000 is the discount, so what will be the selling price? So selling price will be market price minus discount. So 20,000 minus 2,000. That becomes 18,000. 18,000 is your selling price. Now GST. The rate of GST is 18%. So GST will be charged on the selling price. So selling price is 18,000. So GST will be 18% of 18,000 rupees. So 18 into 180. Now we know 18 into 18 is 324 in 0. So rupees 3250 is the GST. So what will be the total bill? Total bill will be 18,000 plus this is my GST 3240. So we will add this 21240. So fourth D is my choice. So now we'll go for question number 6. Hope things are getting very clear to you. The sums based on GST. Still, if you have got doubts, then you can write to me in the comment box and I'll definitely reply your queries that you have. So we move on to the next question. Question number 6. An article is sold for rupees 1750 by a shopkeeper to a customer. If the sale is intrastate and rate of GST is 12%, then SGST collected by the shopkeeper from the customer is, for choice, rupees 210, rupees 105, rupees 220, rupees 110. Pause the video and try to do it. You should not take more than 15 to 20 seconds time for this, doing this. Now, let's see. Price of the item is 1750. 1750 is the price. Rate of GST 12%. They have asked what is the SGST collected. I have already discussed that total GST is splitted into two, CGST and SGST. So if 12% is the total GST, then SGST will be 6%. So what will be the SGST charged? SGST charge will be 6% of this amount. So it will be 6 by 100 of 1750. So this 0 cancels. With 5 if I cancels, 5 to 10, 5 3 15, 2 5, 5 5 25, 2 3 cancels, 3 into 35, 105. So 105 means B is the choice. We'll go to the next question. So our next question, it's a bill. The following bill shows the GST rates around the marked price of articles A and B. This is a bill of a general store. There are two articles A and B. The marked price of A is rupees 300 and of B is rupees 1200. The rate of GST of A is 12%. Rate of GST of B is 5%. The total amount to be paid for the above bill. Total amount means the original price and plus GST is, for choice, rupees 1548, rupees 1596, rupees 1560, rupees 1536. Total bill. Now see for A. This is the price. So 300 you have to pay. And with this you will pay 12% GST. So 12% of 300. So 36. So 300 plus 36. Total amount you have to pay is 336 rupees. For B, price is 1200. Along with this you will pay GST 5%. So 5 by 100 of 1200. So 5 12 60. So 60 plus 1200 will pay 1260. So total amount paid 6 plus 3 9 5 1596. So 1596, B is the choice. If sometime in the question they ask what is the total amount of GST paid, in that case this is not asked, only the sum of the GST, that is 36 plus 60, 96. But in this question, total bill, so total bill is 1596. Now we'll move on to the next question. So the next question, question 8. The percentage share of SGPT of total GST of an intrastate sale of an article is 25%, 50%, 75% or 100%. I have already discussed that for an intrastate sale, GST is of two types, SGST and CGST, CGST and SGST. And what it was if this GST was split equally into two parts, half. So they have asked me what is the ratio, what is the percentage of SGPT to GST. That means they are asking me SGST by GST into 100%. This is what they are asking. So we know SGST is half of GST. SGST, because SGST and CGST combinedly become this and they are equal. So SGST, in place of SGST, I can write half of GST. So half of GST by GST into 100%. So GST cancels. So we get half into 100%. So cancels. So we get 50%. So B is the choice. Now we move on to question number 9. So the next question. For an intrastate sale, the CGST paid by a dealer to the central government is rupees 180. If the marked price of the article is rupees 3000, the rate of GST is 4 choice, 6%, 10%, 12%, 16.67%. Now the price of the item is 3000 and it is paid to the central government. How much GST? 180. So rate of CGST will be how much? GST paid, that is 180, by the total amount, that is 3000 into 100%. That will give me the rate of CGST. So this 1, 2 cancel, this 0, this cancels, 3, 6. So 6% is the rate of CGST. And we know the CGST is half the GST. They have asked me what is the rate of GST. So if CGST is 6%, the GST will be double of this. So GST will be 12%. So C is my choice. We'll go for the next question. Before I proceed to the next question, let me tell you, please check out for my videos based on multiple choice question on other chapters. And one more thing, if you really like my videos, then please like, comment and share. And do not forget to subscribe also. Now let's move on to the next question. The SGST paid by a customer to the shopkeeper for an article which is priced at rupees 600 is rupees 24. The rate of GST is 4 choice, 4%, 6%, 8%, 10%. So the price of the article is 600. This is the price. SGST is given how much? 24 rupees is the SGST. So what will be the rate? Rate of SGST. Rate of SGST will be 24 by 600 into percentage. So we'll cancel this. We'll cancel. This will become 4%. So rate of SGST is 4%. If SGST is 4%, so GST will be just double of this. So 8%. So that will be my GST. That is double of the SGST rate.